How did ancient humans cut their hair? No scissors, no razor from a drugstore, no mirror, no sink, no warm water running from a tap. But they still did it. For at least 500,000 years, humans have been shaping, cutting, and removing hair from their bodies. The tools they used were sharp. Some were made of stone, some were made of shell, some were hammered from metal. And the reason they bothered at all is stranger than you think. Your haircut has a very old story behind it. This morning, you probably ran something sharp across your face or scalp without a second thought. The gesture is ancient. The oldest evidence of deliberate hair removal goes back roughly 100,000 years. Archaeologists, scientists who dig up old stuff, found sharpened clamshells and obsidian flakes with fine parallel scratches along one edge. Those scratches match the pattern you get from dragging a sharp edge across skin and hair. Not from cutting meat, not from scraping bone, from grooming. Now drop back further to roughly 500,000 years ago. Homo heidelbergensis, an early human ancestor who came before us, was already using sharp stone flakes. At sites like Boxgrove in England and Atapuerca in Spain, their stone tools show micro-wear patterns, tiny scratches only a microscope can see, consistent with scraping soft tissue. Soft tissue, meaning skin, meaning face. These people were not yet Homo sapiens, not yet us, but they were already grooming. Then, around 40,000 years ago, Homo sapiens, modern humans, spread across Europe. They moved into the caves of what is now France and Germany. They made art, they made weapons, and they made grooming tools. Small, carefully shaped flint blades. Flint is a hard grey rock that snaps into razor-sharp edges, found in graves, found beside bodies, placed there on purpose. These were not random rocks. These were personal objects. Grooming tools buried with the dead, the same way you might pack someone's most used belongings. Hair mattered. It mattered a lot. So how did they actually do it? Step 1. Find the right rock. Flint, obsidian, or chert, all hard, fine-grained rocks that fracture into glass-sharp edges. Obsidian, volcanic glass from a cooled lava flow, can be sharper than a modern surgical blade. Step 2. Shape it. Napping, hitting one rock against another to chip off flakes, lets you control the edge. You can make an edge thinner than a razor blade this way. Then you hold the skin taut, stretch tight, and drag the edge slowly across the hair at the root. No lather, no warm water, just bone-dry cold stone on skin. It cut, sometimes the skin, not just the hair. Now for hair on the head. Here the clamshell steps in. Two clamshell halves pressed together act like primitive tweezers or shears. You grab a tuft of hair, squeeze, and pull. It does not feel nice, but it works. Shell grooming tools have been found at coastal sites across Africa, dating back 165,000 years. At Blombos Cave in South Africa, a real excavated site, shells with carefully shaped edges were found alongside ochre, a red-orange natural paint, suggesting grooming and body decoration went hand in hand. Then, around 3300 BC, the Bronze Age began. Bronze, a metal made by mixing copper and tin, could be hammered into a thin flat blade and then curved. Egyptian razors from around 1500 BC were made of bronze and shaped like a small axe. Some were even made of gold razors, for a pharaoh's face. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, people in Mesoamerica, what is now Mexico and Central America, were using obsidian blades so sharp they were also used for surgery. One tool, two uses. Shave in the morning, operate in the afternoon. The razor was not just vanity, it was technology. The same society that could shape obsidian thin enough to shave was also advanced enough to build cities. The haircut was a window into everything else they could do. Here is the part most people don't expect. Ancient humans didn't shave because society told them they had to look a certain way. At least, not at first. The first reason to remove body hair was almost certainly survival. Specifically, lice. Parasitic lice, tiny bugs that live in hair and spread disease, were a genuine killer in the Stone Age. Removing hair meant removing the habitat for those bugs. Evolutionary biologists, scientists who study how our bodies changed over time, think humans lost most of their body hair around 1.7 million years ago, partly to shed parasites, partly to cool down while running long distances. But head hair stayed. Head hair protects the brain from sun and UV radiation. So early humans were already navigating exactly the same tension you navigate when you style your hair. Enough to protect you, not so much that it hosts something that kills you. Now add the social layer. By the time farming began, the Neolithic, around 10,000 BCD, people lived in villages. They could see each other every day, and hair became a signal. A shaved head could mean a priest. A wild beard could mean a warrior. A carefully trimmed style could mean wealth. Ancient Egyptian men shaved their entire heads and wore wigs. The wig was a status object. A clean-shaved head under a wig meant rank, cleanliness, and power all at once. In ancient Rome, around 300 BC, a barbershop, a tonstrina, became the center of social life in the town. Men gathered there not just to shave, but to talk politics, share gossip, and do deals. The barbershop was the internet of the ancient world, where information moved, where reputations were made, all because someone, long before, had picked up a sharp rock and scraped it across their face. The next time you shave, or trim, or style, or drag a blade across your skin without thinking, know that the gesture is at least 500,000 years old. Someone chipped a rock in Boxgrove, England, picked up the sharpest flake, and made the first razor. They had no word for grooming, no mirror to check the result, just a shape they wanted their face to have, and a rock sharp enough to make it happen. That is grooming stripped to its absolute core. Not vanity, not trend, not an ad telling you what to do with your face. Just the oldest human impulse, to shape yourself. Your razor is new. The hand holding it is ancient. The instinct that made you pick it up this morning is the same one that made someone chip a stone 500,000 years ago. You didn't invent grooming. You inherited it.